During my service here with FMS, I had the opportunity to work alongside one of the most vulnerable populations in the DC area. That is, the unhoused. This experience taught me that the pursuit of justice and caring for the least of our brothers and sisters is not only the right thing to do as we share this common home, but it is truly our sacred duty. Since my service here ended in 2015, I've been able to incorporate this sacred duty into all the areas of my life, especially with my work at the Basilica of the National Shrine of the Immaculate Conception and in other volunteer roles in the DC metro area. Whether I am volunteering at a local shelter or helping to organize a dinner or a food drive for those in need, this sacred duty, this sacred call that we all have, always stays with me.
I am super grateful for my time in DC with FMS, as it really provided the space and time to be curious, to explore my faith, to get to know new people, and really push myself outside of my comfort zone. And since then, I've really grown and built a strong faith foundation, and just seeing how God has provided in that year and continue to provide after that, leading me to a job that I really love, and continue to build upon those friendships that I grew in my time in DC.
One of the biggest lessons that I learned during my time on mission was the importance and the value and the power of just showing up day in and day out, even when it's difficult, showing up in your faith, even when you can't feel or see God, trusting that He's there with you, showing up for people even when you don't feel like you're making the kinds of relationships that you want initially, showing up in challenging work even when it's not fulfilling. Doing that day in and day out for me in Bolivia transformed my time there from something that was really challenging into something that became really fruitful. Returning from mission back to my life here in Indiana, I've really tried to keep that lesson of the power of showing up with me, especially on those days where my faith isn't fulfilling, or my work or my relationships, and to remember to keep showing up to them anyway, trusting that God's will is always possible, God's love is always possible, and that the seeds that I plant or the seeds that He plants in me and through me will bear fruit in God's time.
FMS has affected me in so many ways, and I am so grateful for the time, space, and opportunities that FMS provided for me to discover and learn more about myself and about God. My time with FMS helped me to discover how my faith intersected with my own struggles, the struggles that others face, and the struggles that our world is facing. Beyond that, FMS also gave me relationships that have helped me find a job that is incredibly meaningful to me. Finally, my time with FMS kindled in me a passion to help those who are on the margins that continues to challenge me and push me to further commitment to justice to this day. Thank you, FMS, for all you have given me.
I think that the thing that stands out most to me about FMS and how it's affected my work since returning to the United States is that it really puts an emphasis on accompaniment. When we were in formation and while we were in Cochabamba, Bolivia, the stress was on not having the answers to everyone's problems, not having the answers to anyone's problems, but instead walking with them and accompanying them through everything that they were going through and learning from them and learning with them along the way. I currently work as a therapist at a residential program for women with substance use disorders who can bring their children with them to the residential program so that they can work on parenting and recovery at the same time. And many days I can get really caught up in the fact that I don't know how much I can do for them, and I feel like I can never do enough. And I always bring that charism, the FMS charism, with me, that we're not here to do everything. We're not here to answer everyone's questions, but we're just here to be Christ and walk alongside for as long as we can and remind people that they're not alone.
On July 2nd, 2016, after I completed my first week as a DC Service Corps volunteer, I wrote in my new journal, The last line of the entry was, "I have found myself praying for the ability to love those that I don't like." When I first moved into the casa, I had no idea what the year was going to bring, and I definitely didn't realize that it would lead me to 3 years serving the casa community and living alongside a total of 74 community members. And I didn't realize how that simple prayer would follow me and become an integral part of my Christian experience. Through being steeped in the Franciscan tradition and being encouraged to evaluate my commitment for justice, FMS has shaped my faith to be a faith of empathy, of diversity, of being uncomfortable, and loving unconditionally. I am forever grateful to FMS for teaching me to love and live in a radical way.